Welcome to TFD, ladies and gentlemen. Before we dive into this absolute madness, make sure you smash that like button, drop a comment, subscribe, share this channel with your people, and hit that bell notification so you never miss when we break down crazy games like this. Because what we just saw, phew, I don't even know if y'all fully understand the magnitude of that collapse. Did you see that comeback the Seattle Storm just pulled off against the Las Vegas Aces? I'm not exaggerating when I say this was one of the biggest choke jobs we've seen in years. The mighty Las Vegas Aces, the two-time defending champs, the juggernaut team with Aeja Wilson, Jackie Young, Jewel Lloyd, and Chelsea Gray, they just blew a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter. A 12-point lead, to be exact, with about 5.5 minutes to play. Gone. Evaporated. Snapped like a twig in the wind. We're talking about a team riding a monster win streak, 17, maybe 18 games, depending how you're counting, and now that streak is over. Gone. Broken. And more importantly, now their backs are against the wall. They're staring down elimination. Can you even process that? The Las Vegas Aces, the team everybody crowned as the WNBA's inevitable dynasty, the squad stacked with Olympians, now one game away from going home in the first round. Listen, I know we were all hype about the Indiana Fever's win earlier. I know the Fever had us going crazy, the building rocking, and Caitlin Clark doing Caitlin Clark things. But this game right here? Seattle and Vegas? This one was different. This one had the gym literally shaking. The atmosphere? Unreal. The tension? You could feel it through the TV screen. This was playoff basketball at its absolute peak. But let's stop playing games. Let's stop sugarcoating. Aeja Wilson, you gotta wear this one. I don't care what nobody says. You are the superstar. You are the MVP candidate. You are the face of this franchise. You cannot blow a 12-point lead in the fourth quarter. And you especially cannot do it while breaking free throws. 6 of 11 from the line? 6 of 11. That's atrocious. I'm sorry. That's not championship basketball. And the craziest part? Aeja Wilson is usually money when it counts. She's one of the best players in the world, no debate. But the free throw line betrayed her tonight, and because of that, she betrayed her team. You make even 3 more of those? This game doesn't even get close. That 12-point lead becomes insurmountable. But instead, you left the door cracked open, and Seattle kicked it wide open. Now, don't get it twisted, Aeja still had a good game on paper. 21 points, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks. Solid stat line. But basketball isn't just about the box score. It's about the moments. It's about the plays when it matters most. And in those moments, the free throw line is where legends separate themselves from the rest. Tonight, Aeja blinked. And it wasn't just her. Jackie Young, who I love as a player, she started struggling down the stretch. She went cold from deep, just 1 of 6 from 3. 8 of 17 overall is fine. But when the pressure was highest, she wasn't delivering those knockout blows. Nalissa Smith was quiet. Chelsea Gray never really took over like she can. That left Aeja on an island, and when your star isn't closing, you're vulnerable. Meanwhile, on the other side? Phew. Skylar Diggins reminded the world exactly who she is. Down the stretch, she took that game over. Big basket after big basket, play after play. She put the team on her back and said, "Follow me, I got us." 10 of 20 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 7 assists, 2 steals, and 26 points. Skylar Diggins was the best player on the floor tonight. Hands down. And let's not overlook Nneka Ogwumike. My goodness. 24 points, 10 rebounds, 4 of 5 from 3. She was a monster. Efficient. Confident. Plus, this is what a vet does. She steps into the moment and delivers when her team needs it. Seattle's big 2 showed up and showed out. And when you pair that with an emerging young star like 18-year-old Dominique Malonga, watch out. Can we talk about Malonga for a second? 11 points, 10 rebounds, and a huge bucket late in the game. 18 years old, closing minutes, on the floor going head-to-head with Aeja Wilson in crunch time. That tells you everything you need to know about her potential. This kid is special. Seattle trusts her already. That's scary for the rest of the league. Seattle's coach basically said, forget depth, forget balance. I'm rolling with 7 players, and that's it. No Katie Lou, no Lexi Brown, no Zia Cook. 7 deep, ride or die. And guess what? It worked. 7 strong, disciplined players beat a so-called super team. Now the Aces? They're in serious trouble. Let's keep it real, all the pressure is on them. Seattle has nothing to lose. They're the underdogs. They were supposed to get swept, remember? Nobody thought they had a shot in this series. But now it's a coin flip. All the weight, all the eyes, all the expectations are on Vegas. They're the ones who can't afford to lose. Imagine the embarrassment if Aeja Wilson and the Las Vegas Aces, with 4 Olympians on their roster, get bounced in the first round by a 7 seed. Imagine the memes. Imagine the narratives. You think the media won't eat that alive? You think fans won't use that to discredit Aeja's legacy? They will. They absolutely will. Vegas, this is what happens when you play with your food. You had a 12-point lead in the 4th quarter. You were supposed to finish your dinner. Instead, you got greedy, you got careless, and now you're starving. Now your season is on the line. I'm telling you right now, Game 3 back in Vegas? That's going to be war. That's going to be the biggest test of this Aces team's championship DNA. Can they bounce back after a loss? Can they show resiliency? Can Aeja Wilson wash off this nightmare and come back locked in? Because if they don't, if they let Seattle roll in and steal one in their house, dynasty talk is done. Legacy talk takes a hit, and the league will be flipped upside down. Seattle's coming in with house money. No fear. Nothing to lose. That makes them dangerous. The Aces? They're the ones tight, they're the ones with the weight of expectations, and they're the ones staring at humiliation. So what happens? Do we see Aeja Wilson rise like the MVP she's supposed to be? Do we see Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum bounce back with firepower? Or do we see Seattle punch them in the mouth again and shock the world? Y'all get in the comments and let me know what you think. Who's winning Game 3? Do the Aces redeem themselves or do the Storm pull off the upset of the year? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this channel. Because trust me, we're going to be locked in for Game 3. At the end of the day, Coach Hammond made it clear, the Aces didn't match the physicality, they didn't execute, and they let that one slip away. Now it all comes down to a decisive Game 3 at home. The message is simple: tighten up the defense, stop giving away free looks, and play with urgency. If they don't, this series could end in heartbreak. But if they do, we could be looking at a classic bounce-back moment in front of their own fans.
All right, welcome everyone. Percy, go ahead, kick us off.
Hey, Scott, can you take us through those last 2 plays there? Just the one that you saw from Dom, sort of streaking, and then your play against her, the jacket there. That was like silly.
Yeah, I think Nat got the rebound on that play and kicked it up, and I just saw Dom streaking, so I just threw it up to the basket. Nice catch and tough finish by her. I'm really impressed by the free throw. That's a big moment by a 19-year-old to have to go in there. We've been asking a lot from her all year. We always make fun that she's the youngest player to do whatever in a game, but it's really historic what she's been doing at her age in this league, her poise, and that was a big play for us. And then anytime I'm in a 2-woman game with this person right here, I feel really confident. I thought they were going to foul, so I just let Nneka keep holding the ball. It was like a 3 or 4 second differential in the shot clock and game clock, and they didn't foul, and we got into our game. I saw open in there, and took my chance, and so everybody made big shots all night and big plays for us. So it just kind of came down to that, and a team that probably don't think they're gonna lose and haven't lost in a long time. It came down to a close game situation. We were able to close that last 7 minutes out. I think it was 23-7. So it was a big play in the 4th quarter, especially going into the quarter down.
Skylar first, but I'd be curious Nneka's perspective as well. A couple of interesting things you mentioned on the court. Number one, feeling embarrassed about the performance in Game 1, and then number 2, the Aces seeming unbeatable. How did you sort of use that coming into this game? Both of those things.
Yeah, we got great leadership, and our best player shows a lot of poise, and I feed off Neck, and the way that she started the game with force, it kept us in that first quarter. And we knew we didn't want to start the game how we did. We talked about not going behind double digits in the first quarter. I alluded to some of that earlier today and right before the game, of us starting with more force. And, and Percy asked me, we talked about situations where you let the game come to you, and tonight, we came to the game. And so, I thought we didn't react, we responded. We talked about some adjustments we wanted to make, and we were able to make those. This team hasn't been beaten in a long time. We felt like we could, because we've had success versus them before this year. It was about putting together, first of all, the start that we wanted, and playing with the type of force, physicality. We won the rebounding battle. That was a big deal for us, and we kind of kept their others in place who had been playing really well coming off the bench. Dana Evans, even some of the role players, Nalissa Smith, we were able to kind of keep them in check, and Cheyenne Parker, and they were a factor in the last game. So kind of came down to that. The start was the emphasis for us today, and the force that we wanted to play with. And then I believe we got 50-something penetrations or something like that. That's a huge part of our identity, and it showed our aggression level offensively today.
It's the loudest they've been all season today. Just how did their energy and engagement contribute to the result tonight, and how do you kind of take that energy onto the road into what will be a tough environment again?
Yeah, I spoke about it on the floor. We were yelling. Like, my throat is, I was yelling all night at them because it was so loud in here I couldn't hear myself. And that's the atmosphere that they've had all year for us, regardless how we play. Maybe the past 26 seasons. But this city has always been very supportive, and they've been very supportive of us this year. And that's why we were very concentrated on the type of effort that we wanted to come out with tonight. And obviously our goal is to get back here for another home game. But definitely the Storm Crazies have been, very supportive of us all year. And in the biggest moment where we needed them to be, they were the loudest. And so we appreciate everybody that supported us. And, we wish we could bottle that up and take some of that on the road with us.
Skylar, over here, just being able to hit a shot like that with 5 seconds left, I'm curious, is that something, being cold-blooded in a moment like that, is that something you feel like you've always had?
I'm a cold-blooded killer.
Is that the way you've always been, or as a life in basketball, has years of basketball prepared you for a moment like that?
I think maybe a little bit of both. Obviously, it's not the first time I've been in that moment. I've been in the playoffs, a few years in my career. I've been to the finals before. But also, I know that this team has a level of trust in me, too, and that also gives me an air of confidence about myself, how I prepare for these moments. But not being afraid of the moment is the playoffs, and so can't be afraid to take the shot. I know the ball is in my hands for a reason to play make, and I just took my opportunity, and I think that was the biggest difference in my game personally between game 1 and 2, was being relentless and turning the corner, getting the paint, engaging, making them guard me, just being super aggressive. And so when I have that mindset, like I said, I'm not gassing either. I just feel like, nobody can stay in front of me when I have that mindset. And so not being afraid of the moment, taking a big shot, and then obviously Neck set me a good screen to kind of get me free.
Nneka, Skylar mentioned how much you guys have asked of Dom. Go ahead.
Skylar, I get the cold-blooded killer that scores 11 points and gets the game-winning shot. Take me to the cold-blooded killer that gets 0 points in the third quarter and then just waits for the opportunity.
Yeah, like Neck said, we all gonna have our spots in the games. Obviously, they make adjustments to coverages. I wasn't mad at my looks. But you just have to stay ready for the opportunity. I don't even think I came out in the second half, and so you're just playing the game. And we have a lot of capable players who can make plays, and so just trying to stay in that mindset of when I do. Sometimes that duality of being a point guard is a distribution and getting your own, and so I live in that duality. But just making reads tonight, like Neck said, not overthinking any play. It was a lot of things that I didn't like, that happened throughout the course of the game, but I think just keeping our composure and keeping our poise is really important. So, staying aggressive, in moments like this, you always have to be ready to have the basketball in your hands.
Thanks, Guy.
Now listen what Becky Hammond said.
Coach, Aeja scoreless in the last 7 minutes of this game. Did you feel like you weren't able to get her the ball in the right spots down that stretch?
you have a turnover off the board. We lost. This is a shame. I feel like we let that one go. In our poor soft defense down the stretch. Just soft.
Coach, were they more the physicality? Were they a little bit more physical than you want your team to be?
Yeah, of course they were. I mean, they're playing for their lives. They better be physical. We didn't match the physicality in the first half. I thought we did a better job coming out in the third. You had an 8-9 point lead going in the fourth quarter. You gotta protect that.
You mentioned Dominique Malonga. Can you talk a little bit about her impact on Aeja today and what your team can do better to stop her next game?
I just think we got to get a better job of getting her in movement instead of just those, post ISOs. She's long, she's athletic. We got to move her a little bit more. But I also just saw missed some shots, and also she got to the free throw line 11 times. So, we could have been more efficient with it for sure.
Anyone else in the room for Coach?
Before the series, you talked about this change to the 1-1-1 format and not liking it. Now, knowing that you do get a deciding game back home for game 3, do you like that element of it?
I mean, I think the lower seed should have to win a game to come get one at home, but it is what it is. It's a tough travel, really, for all parties. To come in for one, then go back for one. I mean, I just think it's a tough situation, but it is what it is. Yeah, of course, if we have to have a game 3, we like it at home.
Right. Anyone else? Andrew Jones on Zoom. Andrew?
Scratch practicing because he likes Tinga.
What is going on? There are a couple people here that are supposed to be muted. Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry, Andrew. Go ahead.
No problem. Thank you, Riley. Coach, they had their 10 3-pointers, which I think maybe the first time they were able to have double-digit 3-pointers with Skylar having a game from 3-point line. How do you feel your team guarded from the 3-point line? Is it just something where they just hit their threes and hats off to them and we'll take it to game 3?
No, we guarded poorly at the 3-point line. Our hands are down. We were not disruptive. We weren't even guarding. They were shooting. We were 8 feet off of them. No, it's trash, garbage. At the 3-point line.
We'll go to Nikias on Zoom. Nikias.
Just a quick one from me, Coach, on the final defensive possession, opting to play that one out versus fouling early. I think there was like a 3-second differential between the play clock and the shot clock at that point. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of the low end of the range there that you want to look for in terms of playing it out for this fouling? 3
seconds is plenty of time. I mean, the danger in not fouling is, they get an offensive rebound or a tip. Those 3 seconds tick off fast. However, our defense has been pretty good down the stretch. Skylar stepped up, hit a shot. I don't think we can get a better shot with 12 seconds left, right? Like, we got a decent look. We missed. That's the way the game goes. It should have never came down to that, quite honestly. The defense in the last 2.5 minutes was really poor.
Any last wrap-ups for Coach? Fourth row. Last few, please.
Yeah, Coach did talk about Jackie Young's performance in the third quarter, especially. She took over the game.
Mm-hmm. She was struggling a little bit there in the first half. I mean, we're not going anywhere without her, so we got to get her going. Luckily, she was able to get herself going. Help us do a really great job, on both ends of the floor, defensively and offensively, to get that lead going into the fourth. And then, like I said, I thought the ball stopped moving. But more importantly, our defense let us down. We know we can't give teams 25, 27 points. Like, we're not built that way. They know that. So we just gotta be better next time. A little more attention to detail. I felt like they got rolling early, and we were not really, again, besides the third quarter, which I was happy with our defense. Then I thought our defense was a step behind, not as physical. It is what it is. We those things are in our control. So hopefully we do a better job in game 3. And it's really all of us. it falls back on all of us. It wasn't just one person. We all got to be better.
Last question for anyone in the